Now, in a historic milestone for inclusive education in Nigeria, a total of 501 visually impaired candidates are set to participate in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, across various centers nationwide. Professor Emeritus Peter Okebukola, chairman of the Equal Opportunity Group of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, announced the figure, affirming JAMB's unwavering commitment to leveling the academic playing field for visually impaired candidates. He praised the innovations championed under the leadership of JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede, which have positioned Nigeria as a continental leader in educational inclusion for persons with disabilities. Well, joining us on the show to discuss this milestone and what more can be done for people with disabilities in our education system is Professor Sunday Eseni Ododo, Enesi Ododo, coordinator of the Abuja Center for Blind Candidates. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program, Professor.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Professor, this is very welcome news, a welcome development. Can you tell us a little bit more about this inclusion of those with visual impairments and how the whole mechanism, how will it all be structured for them to be able to sit for these exams?
Thank you. In 2017, Professor Ishak Oloyede, the registrar of JAMB, created the JAMB Equal Opportunity Group. This group is assigned and tasked to ensure that persons with disability are given equal chance of writing exams. The idea is that, given their disability, it shouldn't be translated to inability. Disability is not inability. What we do is just to ease the process for this class of individuals, but not to cheapen the exam, no. Indeed, the same test instrument is used for the persons with disability and the regular candidate. The only difference lies in the procedure of achieving this. Since the majority of our candidates are visually impaired, what we do, we administer the exams by modally. 1, read aloud mode, and 2, braille mode. The candidate chooses which mode he or she would prefer. Is it the read aloud mode or fully brailled mode? Read aloud mode is the most popular and most preferred by the candidates. The read aloud mode entails reading the questions and the options to choose from twice or more to the candidates, at the end of which they impute the answer. Braille mode is the type that the questions are brailled for the candidates who are able to read Braille, and they read themselves and answer the question. Let me add that we have few other persons with ability that we also cater for. Candidates with autism, Down syndrome, low vision, DAHD, those with hyperactivity disorder. So this is how the procedure runs.
Okay, Professor, it's good to see you. When I saw your name, I said, I've known you forever. But it's good to have you.
Oh, Professor Bati. Dr. Bati.
How are you? Anyway, quickly. Now,
I'm very fine, my good friend.
Yeah, there's a lot that Professor Oloyede has done as Registrar of JAMB. And this inclusion of persons who are physically challenged is very important. But there have also been some controversies about, for example, in recent times, the timing of examination. Now, I've read some stories, some people are saying, oh, they expect candidates to come at 6 a.m. But Fabian Benjamin, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, who is the spokesperson of JAMB, has said, no, the time for exam is 8 a.m. and also at 11, at 12, and later at 3 p.m. And that timing is not a problem. The other concern is with parents coming to examination centers, disturbing, the examination process. Not to talk of fraudulent computer-based centers. 27 of them have had to be delisted by JAMB. Now, with all of these challenges, what is the level of protection that we have in place for physically challenged persons who are coming to write these exams?
Yes, they are well protected. We have 11 centers in Nigeria for GEO candidates. Before they come, they will have indicated in their JAMB form that they are physically challenged or person with ability, and also state the type of disability. JAMB now harvests all of this and send them to the GEOG group. We now ensure that each person on the list is actually visually impaired or any other form of disability so indicated. We make phone contacts with them ahead to establish the veracity of this claim. Through this process, we were able to weed those that are not physically challenged that are so captured. And along the line, there are even those that are physically, that have a disability that are not captured. So they now complain, we capture them into the group to test. Every candidate, because they are visually impaired, has to come to our centers with an aid to assist them. We move them into hotels where they are lodged, fed, and then transport them to the exam venue. By the way, in all our centers, our exam venues are located in universities, campuses. So this already is a secured environment. When they come in, they are now screened into the exam halls. Their parents stay outside the exam hall. It is just the candidates that come in. And they are guided by our ad hoc staff and regular staff with the GEOG officials. So this way, no one that is not a candidate can infiltrate our exam process because there are layers of screening. And by the time the exam starts, we also ensure that no distraction until we are done. This is basically how we do it.
Okay. Thank you. Some people have put forward some recommendations, and they're saying, well, since we are trying to evolve to more computer-based exams, well, is it not possible for persons with disabilities to actually sit these exams at home and make their submissions online? Is there no other way to make the process more convenient for them?
You are very correct. JAMB is very concerned about this and have been making efforts. At the young level, when we started, it was just read aloud. And our plan is to scale up to CBT level where our candidates, even though they have disabilities, they will also be able to submit their answers through computers. It's a process. Now we're into bimodal. Fully break question are options that candidates are considering. Our next option is to scale up to computer-based tests. But what is the operational guideline? It is to ensure that the candidates are not disadvantaged in any form. So we are not compelling them that it must be this mode. That is why we leave it open. Experiments on how to go to computer-based tests is ongoing. The challenge really is that what voice type will be used. Because what's available is Oyibo voice. We don't want that. We want a standard Nigerian voice that is devoid of any ethnic coloration and whatever. That is one challenge we're trying to resolve. The other one is that these children, they are coming from different backgrounds. It's important that they are also well aware and attuned to how this equipment will work. So secondary schools, primary schools are being encouraged to set up necessary facilities that will train these children before they come to this level. Because if you bring a facility and they're not already used to them, there's no way they'll take full advantage of these facilities.
Okay.
So the training factor is very much there.
Well, Professor Ododo, JAMB is playing its part, and we keep praising the Shakoloede administration. But JAMB just has to select the candidates after the fashion pattern of UCAS in the United Kingdom. Now, these persons living with disabilities, those among them that gain admission into our universities, is there a system in place, particularly by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, there is a body like that in Nigeria, to follow through and make sure that within the university system, when the students have been selected and they are handed over to you, in your university, for example, where you are a professor, what is the system in place to make sure that that transition from admission to having a meaningful educational experience within the Nigerian university system exists?
Yes. We must also give praise and kudos to Professor Shakoloede. JAMB has a compilation of all the universities in Nigeria that have facilities for persons with disability, the nature and the intensity. This guides JAMB to process admission to these universities that will be more suitable for the candidates, depending on their areas of disability. Indeed, JAMB has an award in place that it gives to university that has proven to have sufficiently made the environment learning compliant for persons with disability. And this has instigated most institutions now to ensure that they allocate meaningful budget to making the environment and facilities study compliant for the persons with disability. To this effect, every student with disability admitted in any of these institutions are well catered for as far as most of these institutions are concerned. We should also place on records that Professor Oloyede ensures that except you don't have the requisite credential requirement, all persons with ability are given admission.
Okay, all right.
Indeed,
on that
year,
note, Professor
70%.
Ododo, on that note, sir, it's been a pleasure being in conversation with you, and thank you for enlightening us further on this. And of course, we wish all those candidates who will be sitting for the exams all the best.